everyone, it's Strawberryelli and my boyfriend Evan.
Hello.
And thank you so much for joining us in another video. Today we want to share our minimalist story with you, things that we've learned along the way and that might inspire you as well to make changes in your life. So I hope you enjoy watching.
So before minimalism, I was working a 30 to 35 hour a week job, and even though I had that stability, I felt my life was a bit more chaotic in a different way. I felt I didn't have the time, the space, or the opportunity to do the things that I wanted to do. I just was a lot more busy and a lot more unorganized, I would say.
I would say it was kind of similar to me as well. I was quite unorganized. I'd say, for example, in my room, it was quite messy, I'd say, and there was nothing wrong with it, but it was just not giving me that comfortable feeling, to be honest. But I never really felt the desire to really get organized because I never knew how to get started. And in general, I just felt like that I was holding on to things and I just clinging to things, and that was always something I was dealing with, and I didn't know how to get started. So my life in general was just kind of organized and messy, I'd say, and I was just keeping a lot of things and holding on to a lot of things because I never knew if I need them in the future.
Yeah, I also felt that I was holding on to things that I wasn't really using, but I was just wanted to keep them because I was scared to let go and get rid of them. That was holding me back a lot.
Yeah, just like feeling scared and this like fear if you just like need something and you just want to keep everything, but these things are just laying around, like kind of cluttering up everything, and then eventually I think there's just like this tipping point where you just feel like this is just overwhelming, I need a change.
So one of the main things that inspired me to go more minimalistic was all the times that I moved and I just felt overwhelmed by all the things that I owned, and I just didn't know what to do with everything every time I moved. Like packing and unpacking became such a huge burden on me, and I just got tired of it, and I realized like I was spending so much time and so much effort just putting these things into boxes and unboxing them, and just I wasn't using any of this stuff. I just didn't have a need for it in my life anymore.
So I guess that was then when you felt like you had to just change something and you have to like get rid of things. So the unpacking and packing don't become like such a hassle for you anymore?
Yeah, that was just so like
overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, overwhelming is a good word to say there, yeah.
And it's actually interesting because that's kind of started, I guess, before I started to get minimal, and what inspired me was actually you. And that was because when we were traveling together, I just got to this point where my backpack was just so full, and we wanted to change the country. We wanted to go from Bali to Thailand, I believe. And I was just feeling so overwhelmed with all the stuff I was carrying with me. And my backpack was just way too heavy and stuffed, and I just didn't want to bring all that things with me anymore. So we started that night, I can remember that. We laid out all my clothes on the bed and all the things I had with me. And I was just going through them and thinking about if I actually need them in the future. And I put all the things I was thinking I don't need anymore in a bag, and we just put them aside. And if I still kind of need them at some point, I can just take them out. But honestly, that bag was just staying there for another week, and then we got rid of it. And my backpack got a lot lighter. And that actually inspired me to just downsize a lot more in my life, just in all kind of areas. Not just my belongings, but also my relationships and things I was just holding on to that weren't serving me anymore.
Yeah, I remember when you had that backpack and you had another backpack in front of you, then you had some extra bags that you were carrying when we were traveling. And I always had to carry some of Ellie's extra stuff with me because I had like an empty space or I had an empty hand or something like that. And she just had so much that she couldn't carry everything, but it was like she wasn't using half of it either. She made the decision though. I didn't push her or anything like that.
And I think it is a journey. So that was like the start, and from then on I started to downsize more, and now my bag is way smaller and I just feel way more comfortable with the amount of things I have. And at that point I just didn't. So everyone starts somewhere, but that was definitely a tipping point for me that I don't want to carry all these things with me around.
So since I had done all that moving in a short period of time and I finally downsized quite a bit of my stuff and I let go of a lot of things that I wasn't using, I noticed a lot more like benefits in other areas of my life too, besides just owning less. Some of the other positive benefits I've noticed is a lot more mental clarity in my life and like all aspects of it, where I just feel I don't have other things like occupying my mind and just thinking about things. I've created like a lot more space, like mental space is what I like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've experienced as well. So with creating a lot of physical space, so getting rid of things and letting go, I created a lot of mental space. So yeah, I've experienced a lot of mental clarity as well. I don't feel like that things are just cluttering up my life. I feel a lot more organized. It is in a lot of areas in our life. So it is not just with clothing, for example, or personal belongings, but also relationships. So what I've experienced is that I can let go so much easier now, and I just value my relationships so much more, and that can be with family and friends.
I really value the people that are in my life a lot more now, and the people that I don't spend as much time with, I appreciate when I see them, but I feel I don't have to spend as much time as I used to with them, especially if we're going in different directions and we just don't have as much time to spend with each other. It's fine.
Or not as much in common anymore, maybe that's it as well. And another thing for me as well was, as I said, I had trouble with letting go, and now I just feel like I don't feel as attached to things anymore. I just realized that physical things, they don't really matter at the end. They're replaceable. And things like personal belongings I was holding on to, also clothes, I don't really need. Like, I can just let them go, and if I really need something, I can just get a new item. I don't want to feel just too attached, and once that breaks or I lose something, my role just breaks apart. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I just want to feel free within myself, and having that realization that I can let go of things just creates a lot of mental clarity and just a lot of freedom for me.
And one last thing is that the things that I do own, I really do appreciate them because they do add value to my life. I feel I don't own things that aren't adding value to my life or don't serve me in any purpose.
And I think also that can change. So from time to time, you might value that item right now, but then in the future, let's say we travel a lot and we realize that we just carrying something extra with us, then we just let go. And just that letting go is becoming so much more easier for me and for us now. So if I have to think about something that I would give advice to someone who wants to start downsizing their life, is definitely to just letting go of that thought, what if? What if I need a certain item in a certain situation and I just have to keep that item so I'm prepared for that situation? And I can definitely say that letting go of that thought is just so freeing for me. So I always thought, oh, I just keep that extra pair of shoes or that extra pair of pants or anything like that, because what if my other pair rips or I lose it? So I want to keep an extra. And to be honest, that never really happened. And if that happens, then that's fine too, because then I just get a new pair or I find a different solution. But I don't want to carry extra things with me just to have that what if covered, because that is just cluttering up my life, to be honest. And starting to just getting rid of these things, downsizing, I realized I just have so much freedom, and I also feel so much more spontaneous that way, and I find different solutions if I don't have a certain item, and it's still gonna be okay.
And for me, I would have to say is don't compare yourself to others. You're on your own kind of journey, and you don't have to fit into anyone's mold of what a minimalist is or whatever.
Everyone is different, everyone is on their different journey, and you can feel inspired from things I put up in my videos, for example, but you don't have to. Just take things that inspire you, that feel like that serve you, but things that don't fit into your life, that just let them go. Don't feel like you have to fit into a box or a certain category. I think that's what you want to say.
Yeah, so don't compare yourself to others. Just do what feels right for you and what feels best for you. There's no right or wrong way to go about doing anything.
And if we have an advice also how to get started, just start with one area of your life. So that could be with, for example, a certain room in your home. That can be like your living space or like your bathroom, your kitchen area. and you just start with that room, kind of with the KonMari method. That was one book that inspired us also to downsize in certain areas of your life more. Or you just start with your relationships, for example, with your job. Just pick one area, otherwise it's gonna be way too overwhelming if you wanna do all at once. From time to time, you will see changes and you will change as well. And that way you feel inspired to downsize in other areas of your life as well and go more minimal. And I've experienced just a lot of changes within myself, and I just feel I just handle different things in my life just differently by becoming more minimal.
Yeah, I just feel that my life is a lot more relaxed and calm and laid back. I don't feel overburdened or stressed in certain areas where I may have felt that before in my life. Life is more simple and I enjoy the things that I'm doing each day. I spend my time doing exactly what I want to do, and I don't feel I'm held back in any respect.
Alright guys, that's it with our minimalist journey. I hope you got to know us a little bit better now and you feel maybe inspired to downsize and go a little bit more minimalist in your life as well. But please don't feel the pressure to do so. But please feel free to share your journey and your experiences down in the comments below. And other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and we see you in my next one. Bye guys!